Langdale Forest Products Company, or LFP, is one of approximately 24 affiliates under the Langdale Company's corporate umbrella. It was the manufacturing arm of the Langdale Company prior to 1985, when they were incorporated as a separate entity. LFP has earned and maintained the reputation of being an industry innovator and for supplying quality forest products that are coupled with exceptional customer service. Although a portion of the business was devoted to preserved wood products manufacturing for over 70 years, our sole focus is now in producing southern yellow pine dimensional lumber. The process begins with receipt of approximately 120 log trucks each workday. That is a lot of trees, and we're proud of the fact that our parent company has continually planted more trees than were harvested since the 1930s. A 20-ton crane not only unloads trucks, but rotates stored log inventories and feeds the log processor. The log processor begins with debarking the logs, which is followed by an optimized scanning process prior to the logs being cut into 10-foot through 20-foot lengths, which are transferred to the sawmill for processing. Each tree-length stem is cut into pieces in order to maximize the amount of lumber that can be processed from the geometric shape of each shorter section of log. No part of the tree is wasted. Bark, sawdust, and even vines that are tangled in the truckloads of logs are processed and utilized as residual products for industrial fuels and landscaping materials. There is no waste in any of the processes throughout our facility. Once a log enters the primary or large log side of the sawmill, it is scanned by another optimizer and is automatically rotated to maximize lumber production. It is then processed by a log canter that chips off opposing sides of the log before passing through a twin-band bandsaw, where sideboards may be removed. Prior to entering the curve saw gang, each canted log passes through another optimizer and is then sawn into individual pieces of lumber. The curve saw gang maximizes the amount of lumber obtained from each log by sawing around any natural curvature in the log stem. Boards are then transferred to a lumber deck for further processing. The small log side of the sawmill operates similarly, but is a bit more streamlined. Smaller logs, generally with less than 10 inches in diameter on the large end, enter the mill and are scanned by an optimizing scanner and rotated to maximize lumber production. They are initially squared on both sides, with sideboards being removed if needed. A second machine then processes the top and bottom of the cant, or log. Sawn boards are transferred to a different portion of the lumber deck, utilized by the large log side of the process, and all are ultimately sorted by thickness, width, and length. The last steps in the sawmill process are to trim each piece to specific lengths, and then sort and stack like sizes into rough-greened units that have spacers between each layer in order to promote uniform drying in our dry kilns. Lumber drying, which reduces the moisture content to industry standards of 19% or less, is accomplished in one of 3 new, state-of-the-art, dual-path continuous dry kilns. This type of dry kiln continuously pushes rough-greened units of lumber through 3 distinctly different chambers within each kiln, which ultimately provides a consistent final moisture content while minimizing the lumber defects associated with heating. The dry kiln's heat source is derived from burning sawdust, which is the sawmill's lowest valued residual commodity and is a green fuel. Following drying, rough dry units of lumber are processed at the planer mill, where each board is dressed or smoothed to exacting specifications. Every piece of lumber is then assessed and assigned a grade by another piece of state-of-the-art equipment, a Lucidine lumber grader. Lucy, as she is referred to, is a sophisticated series of artificial intelligence computers that have been trained to scan our southern pine lumber and assign appropriate grades to each commodity that we produce. Every board is double-checked by a certified lumber grader and is trimmed to a specific length before it is sorted by length and grade and is packaged by an automated system. Finished, packaged lumber is then stored in one of the multiple dressed lumber sheds to await shipping after LFP's experienced sales staff sells it to one of the broad-based customers. Shipping alternatives include being delivered by rail, contract truckers, and Langco Trucking Incorporated, which is another sister company that resides under the Langdale Company's corporate umbrella. Langdale Forest Products Company is proud to have the heritage of being part of the Langdale Company and share its motto of quality and service since 1894. Wood procurement and manufacturing personnel are supported by a broad cadre of in-house electrical, fabrication, maintenance, and staff professionals, all of which continually strive to earn our customers' confidence, respect, and business.